I was, in fact, while I was working in, other industries, I still had a band.
Mm-hmm.
And we were playing around town. And it was hard. Keeping a band together is really hard, especially, it seemed like in that era, all the clubs were like pay to play.
Mm-hmm.
So, you had to go out and hustle and sell the tickets. We weren't making enough money to get by. We got some radio play on the Loyola Marymount channel.
Huh.
Okay, they were playing one of our songs for a while. That's about as good as we got. And I'd ended up falling into the computer industry, started out in sales, and then got into marketing. I was working with Microsoft for a while.
Yeah.
I was working with Bill Gates way back in the early days. And then I got involved in a company that was doing kind of some of the first imprinted mouse pads with pictures on them.
Yeah.
And then we were making like luggage for Macs.
Wow.
The cubes, the old,
Yes, yeah.
the stupid cubes. And then I realized one day I hated it, and I quit. It was that thought that if I keep doing this, I'll be 60 and still doing it, and I'll still feel just as ambivalent about it as I always. And I quit. And it was a buddy of mine, Joe Pearson, who was also on Rocco for a while, and we'd done some stuff together since then. But he was the guy who said, well, you should, I've seen some of your drawings and stuff, you should consider getting into animation. And I'm like, okay, how does that work? And he actually spent a couple months helping me get a portfolio together to draw backgrounds, because my only other art experience was architectural rendering.
Uh-huh. Oh,
I
you did
knew
that.
perspective, backwards, forwards, up one side and down the other. I had an amazing drafting teacher in high school at Reseda High, Bella Pelagi. He was an incredible drafting teacher, but I had that skill. So I got a portfolio together, and then another friend of mine, actually the real Ferb and Melinda, had a friend who was working on The Simpsons, Debbie Silver. And she knew that they were hiring background people. Oh. So I went over with my portfolio, and they were looking for people who had strong perspective skills. Yeah. So I showed him my stuff, and he's like,
perfect,
great, you're in. We'll teach you the animation side, no problem.
Architecture background,
but
yeah, of course.
Got the perspective skills we need. So I jumped in, and I remember I'd been there a week and sat down the second Monday I'd been there with my coffee at my desk and just started weeping. The fact that somebody was going to pay me to do this blew my mind. It was the coolest thing in the whole world. I'd never been that happy. Took a big cut to do it, pay cut. But it was awesome.